kid issues?
No.
Nope. Everything's been explained to the children. Lolly, been through one before. No, there's no coming out to say, I'm bored, can we go home? You are stuck here until we leave.
And let's go ahead and pull this up on IMDb just so we can...
Honey, you had asked where...
Where was it filmed?
Yeah, Norad HQ set was built in the Cascades. The Oregon airport was really Boeing Field. Goose Island is really Anderson Island.
Yeah, I read that. It was nuts. It's all over the place.
Well, it's built more so into the side of the mountain than what they showed in the movie.
All right, welcome back to Flicks and Dicks. If you're a new listener, welcome to the show. This week we are talking about War Games, the mighty War Games, 1983, directed by John Badham and written by Lawrence Lasker. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. And I believe he's one of a couple of writers on this, but that writer's notable for a couple different things, including Gladiator and.
I have no idea.
No, he's done some good work, so that's good on him. Oh, Sneakers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote Sneakers.
That's a good
that was a
movie.
factoid I saw on IMDb that this writer, right after this movie, when I started doing his research for Sneakers, another hacker movie. Yeah, hacker movie. All right.
It's a good movie.
So, what'd you guys think of the movie? I mean, we've all seen this movie a million times.
Yeah, I still love it.
Yep.
Granted, it's cheesier seeing it now as an adult than when I was a kid, but I still love it.
I always put this mark of good movies, like they're timeless or something like that. If they don't have a cell phone in their hand, or if they don't use a piece of technology, you try to avoid that if you're making this timeless epic. But
I like that in a movie.
Do you really?
I really do.
Like Lethal Weapon, he's carrying his briefcase.
Oh my
phone
God,
and all
the
that.
phone.
It's hilarious.
Okay, but they're using technology in this movie, and it is not anything that we were used to seeing at all. And it's not things that we're used to seeing now. It's not... I think it's great. I think it's totally fine that they used all this technology.
I think it kind of takes me out of the movie real quick. Like, I'm watching a movie that maybe it's been around for about 20 years, and all of a sudden I see a StarTech flip phone, and I'm sitting there going, holy shit, wait, this is this movie.
Or like the woman who was inspecting Whopper.
What was she writing down?
Inspecting? She was walking by looking to make sure that all the lights were flashing erratically as they're supposed to.
Do you know what I did? And we can definitely get into that later in this film, but this podcast. But yeah, just a lot of revolving shots around the Whopper, just blinking like Christmas tree lights.
In case you had forgotten, here's the Whopper.
Yep, and it's still doing stuff. Yes.
It still has random flashing lights that really don't do anything.
But, I mean, with all that said, I freaking love this movie. And I think I always will. It's got so many huge quotable lines in this movie. And a couple of the actors, particularly... oh, dang it. What was his name?
Well, I'm going to point out something real quick. Mathew Broderick, his character, was a piss-poor hacker.
Nice.
A back door.
It's a...
What's
God,
that?
the back door. I think this movie started the whole back door thing. What was that guy? Oh, Barry Corbin. Oh, he's a treasure.
What the hell did dude say after he brought up the back door?
He's like, what? It's not a back door. It's a back door. It's just a different way.
No. To the nerdy dude from
I
Revenge
know
of the
from
Nerds
1981.
flicks. He goes.
Or 1941.
Don't talk about her back door like that or something. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But there's a couple actually really funny lines in this movie, again, which we're going to hit. But first things first, let's go ahead and hit these principal characters, because there's a lot of them.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if there's a couple, there's only like a handful of principals, but there's a lot of damn
There's a
actors.
lot of people
There's a
in
lot
this
of people in this
movie.
movie. This is where it's like all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, he's in this movie? He's in this movie too? Everybody's in this movie.
Now, let's just say that the budget for this was $12 million. It grossed just above 79 million.
Well done. No,
Yeah.
well done. I love it. And
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
glad.
a big chunk of that, well, $1 million of that was to build the Norad set that looks actually nothing like Norad at all. Norad calls it it's quoted as its wet dream.
Yeah, Norad said this is the movie's version of our wet dream. Yeah, I love it. All right, well let's get to the first person. Unfortunately, we have to. He's the weakest part of this movie, at least in my opinion. But Mathew Broderick. Let's hit Mathew Broderick.
That's how you feel about him?
In general, yeah. I'm not a big Mathew Broderick fan. I think he's this little slimy weasel, and I don't like his
slimy weasel. But damn,
I don't know about his personal life, but I mean, I don't care for his acting style. I think it's annoying.
He was good in Godzilla.
You think he was good in Godzilla? That's a lot of fish, Mike.
I like
That's a lot
Mathew
of fish.
Broderick. I mean, in today's world, he is total like theater, Broadway kind of guy, that's why I like him. Which is where he, that's where he should have been. That's the role he falls into. He's just charming.
Totally.
He's
charming.
Like, stick a bow tie on him and pinch his cheeks. He's darling.
He's a straight up stage actor.
Yeah,
that's where he's always belonged.
I have to say, it's a good contrast between this War Games and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he's playing a very different character. And I actually almost forgot that they were the same people. I was just sitting there going, oh, that's right, he's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's Ferris Bueller.
Yep.
Is it just because you keep picturing him as Inspector Gadget? I mean,
I
what
never
is
saw
your holdup?
that piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm not going to watch it. Yeah.
We could do that for a future podcast.
Oh, Inspector Gadget?
Yeah, in 15 years.
Yeah,
it'll hit our timeline.
Yeah, there you go.
Stay tuned.
We got standards here, Mike.
I would rather not watch Inspector Gadget again.
You'll watch Hiding Out.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes.
Not to be missed podcast. Recently uploaded to YouTube. But yeah, Hiding Out. That was incredible. So, Mathew Broderick in this film, how'd he do?
I think he did just fine.
He did. He was passing.
No,
he was
passing. Believable. It was totally believable because they pointed out, oh, well, you know what? He fits this criteria where he's kind of a screw up, doesn't fit in, but man, he knows his way around.
I call that good script writing.
Yes.
Well,
anytime he had to emote,
but I think
it's like, oh god, here we go.
He had a couple good scenes.
If he wasn't staring at a computer and figuring something out, I thought he was fine doing that. But when he had to actually act and he had to get emotional, I'm like, what am I watching? At least in this film. I mean, that's those scenes on the island where he's like, I wish I didn't know about any of this stuff. And the screenwriter's just like, I can't believe he's reading it like that.
The scene on the island, I wish we could just completely delete
I
altogether.
wish we could absolutely delete that.
You didn't like the pterodactyl?
I thought it was a very cool toy. I just thought the whole thing was a mess. I mean,
this proves that the pterodactyl could fly. You stuck an engine in its ass. Of course it's going to fly.
You stick wings on a dildo, it'll fly, you know. Let's go ahead and move to, Ali Sheedy, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy's one that I never cared for.
Really? I don't care for her either. I think she's toast. I think she's vanilla ice cream, just like whatever.
But she played moron beautifully.
In this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, what are you doing? Please explain the plot to me. She's C-3PO.
Again, and again, and again.
You guys are terrible. No, she seemed like high or drunk the whole movie.
Oh, she did. She really did.
But I liked her zest for, okay, I'll go do this. Okay, I'll go do that. Sure.
Why is she hanging out with him?
Because
he really kind of like...
Because he
made her laugh in class.
Made her laugh, and he was that troublemaker, and she's such a fly by the seat of her pants kind of gal that it fit.
She's an aerobics instructor, which is
such a
strange.
fly by the seat of her pants gal. That's why she flipped the fuck out when he changed her grade from an F to a C.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Change it back, you weirdo. There's a couple of weird scenes in here, which I'm going to get to. But, yeah.
Ali Sheedy. Don't care for her.
All I see when I see her, and I guess it's probably in hindsight, but I mean, Johnny Five, oh no, Johnny Five. Shut up.
That was a year or two down the road.
Yeah. Shut up. Anyway. Yeah.
I love you, Ali Sheedy.
Didn't she do like Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire in the
same year? She was in that little film Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, a very different character, which is absolutely. I mean, that's the smart thing to do.
Okay, so those War Games, then Breakfast Club, then Short Circuit,
Whoa,
then Home Alone.
back up, truck up. She's in Home Alone?
Home Alone 2.
Oh.
It's still the Home Alone movie.
No. I don't even acknowledge Home Alone 2.
She was probably
That's
a
the
door
Lost
person.
in New York one. I mean, that's
Shit.
something.
She was probably a door person in Lost in New York.
God, Lost in New York. Whatever. Okay, so Ali Sheedy is just... I understand why the character's important. In movies like this, when you got a technical movie, or like Star Wars, when you need to explain stuff without having to actually explain everything to the audience, you need somebody to tags along that you explain
have your idiot character that needs it explained incessantly.
And since we don't want to write, could you explain that to us in English, like every other goddamn general or officer in this movie? In English, damn it.
Speak English.
I hate that.
I hate that too.
I can't stand that. I'm like, you know what? You understand what I'm saying. Shut up.
Right.
Or if you just don't understand the lingo, just say, oh, you're spouting off too much lingo like an asshole. So, could you explain it to me in a different way? You don't have to say in English. Oh, I can't stand that. All right, so who's next on deck? I was gonna say John Wood, who played Falcon.
Also based off of, let's just change around the name just a little bit.
Wait, why? What?
Well, who they based his character off of, good old Stephen Hawking. So
Oh, I see.
They did not.
they did. That is
Really?
that is the
Would
that is
you
the
like to play a game?
I cannot believe
If there's a hell, you're going, sir.
Yeah, it probably is. That's not my joke anyway. That's Homeboy off of Big Bang.
Okay, it says here on IMDb, the writer's main inspiration for the character Professor Stephen Falcon was Cambridge professor Stephen Hawking. Hawking was originally approached to appear in the movie, but he declined because he didn't want the producers exploiting his disability.
I saw that, and I'm sitting there going, how would they exploit his disability? The whole, would you like to play a game? That had to be
No,
it.
it's shall we
So,
play a game?
no,
Sorry.
would you?
Is this important?
No, it's shall.
No, is
Oh.
this important to the integrity of this podcast? I
It's
mean,
it is
you're really calling
it
me
is
out on
the
this.
most important quote because I thought forever, my entire life, that it was would you like to play a game? But no, it's shall we
Well, I
play
will not
a
make that
game?
mistake again. I'm so sorry.
So I'll do it now just to fuck with you.
Totally, yeah. I'll say just to piss you
But
off.
no, so he didn't want the producers to take advantage of his disability. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I don't get that.
anybody who's a Big Bang fan,
Yeah, he's all over the place on that.
oh my god! and then
Any
you've got
jokes we could squeeze in about his being in a wheelchair or his voice machine or whatever.
every episode of Big Bang where he's referenced. It's like a roast of Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, that's probably a time when Stephen Hawking knew how to laugh at himself. He's like, I'm the biggest thing on the fucking planet. Everybody knows me, and everyone gets it, and I'm contributing to science and all that. I don't fucking care if you're talking about my wheelchair or my voice. I'm totally over it.
Okay, so
But
John
Falcon,
Wood as
John Wood. I thought he was great. Actually, I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he brought like this credibility to it.
I think so.
Are you full of shit right now?
No,
Oh, wow.
I'm absolutely not. And that's every time you say that, Lisa, I'm actually really intrigued by the angle that you're taking. Go for it. What's wrong with that?
Every single scene that he was in, other than the video footage of him, he was weird. He was awkward. And I understand smart people are awkward. That's fine. But even when they're in that final command room and they're making all their decisions, and he's just like, "Yeah, you make the call, kid. I'm going to sit back here and do nothing." Even anybody who has built a machine, that's their baby.
Look,
They're gonna
that's
take the
called
controls.
acting, though. I mean, that's acting. He's dealing with the script. And
You're right, he lacked the acting skills to do this.
Like, it took me aback because I'm sitting there going, wait, what? What does that mean? She thinks he's a bad actor.
The
in
only
this
problem
movie.
I had with the guy was that it appeared as though he had this permagrin on his face the whole time.
I think he liked the. I
Like he
think
had
he
his
liked the
hand stuck in
lines.
his pants or something. Something was making him a little too happy. I don't know. I was really
Weird.
so bothered by his character.
I think the actor liked the lines and he was meant to deliver because the lines had to do with a lot with what the message is saying for the movie. The message for the movie is give up.
I liked his
Give
character. And I
up.
liked the way that
because
he
the
did
beginning
it.
of the movie they're like, why would you say give up? That's a terrible thing to say. And at the end of the movie it's like, look, if the game's not worth playing, fucking walk away. I love it. It's great. It's a good script.
It's
I
a good
thought so.
script. Yes.
Yeah,
We're talking about
But
John Wood.
I think the actor is sitting there appreciating that script and saying that's why he really got into it. I think he did get into it.
I guess when they were fantasizing about him and making all these beautiful comments about him when he was in the video, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, is that him? He's so handsome." That
I didn't get. I'm like, he's handsome.
Yeah, and
Wait,
then
I have no idea what handsome is. Then
Then
I have
dude
no
goes,
clue.
he's old. How old is he? He's like 41.
That's a total joke.
That is old.
No,
then-
we're all pushing that right now, right?
But then they see him in person, and it's not this, "Oh my gosh, I'm in the presence of somebody great," just like they had when they were watching the video. They were like, yeah, I don't know. It was this huge.
They weren't
letdown.
starstruck by the guy when they met him.
Yeah.
She was definitely awestruck
Because they
with
were
him
misinterpreting
in the
his
video.
message, and
But
they're
when
like,
she
"He's a
met
dick."
him, it was, sup?
Well, wouldn't that just be the case if you met anybody like world renowned or famous? You'd be like, "Oh, well, it's kind of an asshole."
I don't know, Travis. You
Trav.
met Matthew Perry.
No, he followed
no,
Matthew
sorry, you
Perry
stalked him
into the bathroom at a movie theater in California. There's a big difference. Trav's never
All
met
right,
him.
fine. I'll go ahead and tell the story. We're going to the Chinese Man Theater in L.A. We're going to watch a movie. I don't remember what movie we were watching. You were there.
Because we weren't watching the movie, we were watching.
No, it was.
We were watching Matthew Perry
it was
sitting in front
Sandra
of us.
Bullock. It was Sandra Bullock. It was like Numbers or
some stupid
murder,
thing. Yeah,
some murder movie.
I didn't care about the movie because Matthew Perry was like one row behind us, being loud as
I didn't
fuck.
care about the movie because it was Sandra Bullock, but we were going to see it at the Chinese Man in Los Angeles. That was fantastic.
So he's right behind me. He's like not right behind me, but kind of off center behind me, catty corner to me. Get in the line for popcorn, and the lady looks right past me and says, "Oh, can I help you, sir?" And he walked right in front of me and said, "Yeah, I'd like some popcorn." Do you know this
totally
is the
missed
second
that.
time I've gotten fucked over when it comes to popcorn at movies for a celebrity?
Just because Elway is
John
a
Elway,
douchebag.
and then this guy, and then Matthew Perry. What the
Yes,
fuck?
folks, I said it. Elway is a douchebag.
No, we can say that. It's okay. Our Denver listeners are like, what? All right.
Dabney
Coleman.
Oh, who's that?
He played Kirkman or Kirk
Oh,
something.
McKittrick. Yeah. I think he's hamming it up in this movie. I love him. I actually love him.
Dabney Coleman's fantastic.
Yeah.
Cloak and Dagger, if you've never seen it.
Yeah?
Cheesy ass movie.
He looks like he could do cheesy pretty good, like cheesy movie. But this movie is like told to play it a little bit more straight, but he's got some of the best lines in this movie. I love it.
He's been acting since, forever. The 50s or 60s, I think, is when he started.
He's a familiar face, that's for sure. Yeah. No, but I love how he's defending his fucking project throughout this whole movie, for better or for worse, whether it's actually a good idea or not. And he's telling people to take humans out of the equation when it comes to global defense.
Yes.
Which is nuts. And he's saying this with a straight face. I don't know if he knows what he's saying or not, but I love his performance in this movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it was
good.
great.
Yeah.
I have
So,
no
yeah, he's
objections
good.
to what you said right
I
there.
have no objections to this whatsoever.
I objected on the other three, but no, this one, he's
So-
cool.
Well, the last movie that we did, Hiding Out, where everybody and their mother was smoking like a chimney.
He's the only one.
He's the only one that smoked in this movie.
That's right. And he's blowing smoke right in Matthew Broderick's face like an asshole.
He was blowing smoke in everybody's face.
Okay, what I wanted to do on this one, since there's so many other actors in this movie, I wanted to just give a couple of honorable mentions before we get into the blow-by-blow here. But John Spencer, he's making a return to Flicks and Dicks as Jerry.
Jerry.
He's Jerry.
He's an emotional kind of guy, man. He couldn't pull the trigger.
He couldn't pull the trigger.
Sorry. Couldn't turn the key.
turn the key. Turn the key,
Yeah,
sir.
do you have any promotional offers for anybody who can link the last 4 movies that we did? What is the link between the actor link between?
Oh, the
4?
actor link. Okay, interesting. All right, little game here. We've got John Spencer, who was in our last podcast, Hiding Out. The movie Hiding Out had Keith Coogan in it, and he was in the podcast before that for Toy Soldiers. And do we have anybody Toy Soldiers? Oh,
yes.
Damn it! I keep thinking we actually did Iron Eagle, but we haven't.
No.
We have not.
Well, that needs to cook.
Okay.
That needs to cook. That is not ready to be taken out of the oven because that's going to be epic. I'll keep saying epic. I don't give a fuck. I know it's like passe to say epic. Fuck it, I'm
Is
going to
it?
say it.
You can say epic.
I never really thought
No, the
twice
kids
about it.
think epic is done with, you know.
Oh, yeah?
just because you're not on fleek. I don't know.
Well, I got some gray hairs now, so what do I fucking care, right? The kids don't like me anymore. Yeah, so John Spencer, and it's awesome to be in this type of role for John Spencer because he is the linchpin to the script. He's the guy who couldn't pull the key or couldn't turn the key, and which is the thrust of the movie.
Character to say, "Hey, we need to remove the human equation."
That's right.
Yep.
Such a crazy thing to say. We need to remove the human equation.
No emotion, man. No emotion.
That's nuts. So if we bring up Jerry, we got to bring up Steve. Jerry and Steve.
And who is Steve? Who
Michael
plays Steve?
the fuck Madsen's in this film. Welcome to Hollywood.
He was 25 when this movie came out.
Awesome. I didn't even know he was in this movie, and
I didn't either.
He walks up and puts his badge up against the door, and I'm sitting there going, Jesus Christ, I can't be sure, but that looks exactly like Michael Madsen.
I kind of sort of had the same experience. I looked over to Lisa, I'm like, no way. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's Michael Madsen. And then, it went on to show Jerry again, and all of a sudden it cuts back to Michael Madsen. I was like, oh shit.
Now for our listeners,
that is Michael Madsen.
Not for me. Who the hell is Michael Madsen?
Michael Madsen was in... No, not for me. Not for me. But
I'm asking for a friend.
Who the fuck is Michael Madsen? No, he's... Oh my God! He was in Kill Bill, the Kill Bill movies, and of course...
he had the eye patch.
Not Usual Suspects, but...
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God! Yes, Reservoir Dogs.
It's okay. This edit's just fine. But yeah, Reservoir Dogs. I mean, he plays a psycho. He's Mr. White. It's nuts, and he's been kind of typecast as that kind of like, I'm gonna stand back and just deliver my lines like this because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But that didn't work for him in Blood Rain though. In Blood Rain, he just looks like he doesn't give a fuck.
That movie?
Yeah, I saw that movie. Guard, something's wrong with my cellmate. I don't know what's become of him. He's missing. I think that read was better than what he did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. Okay, so he's Steve, and so they had this. I'm sure they had this meeting, right? So they're with Jerry and Steve, and they're like, you know what, you guys are going to do this. It's their small roles. And I know you guys have been in bigger stuff, but check it out. This is the scene that is pivotal for the entire movie, and we need this scene to count, and it does. It's great.
I think so.
No, it's fantastic.
Pulls out the gun, sticks it to the, points it at the dude.
Turn your key, sir.
Turn your key, sir.
Oh yeah, no, and of course it's very quotable. I mean, this movie quotes so much shit that sometimes we're quoting in the office. We don't even know where these quotes came from. We're like, where was that from? It's fucking War Games. Oh, that's right, yeah. What about Murray Calkin? He's the main tech consultant. He's one of my. He's got one of my favorite lines from because he was also My Cousin Vinny, and he delivers that line of "I'm a fast cook, I guess." and then what's his name? All these names are jumping out of my head. Joe Pesci comes up to me. He's like, "I'm sorry, I was all the way over here. Did you just say I'm a fast cook? That's it?"
Okay, there's a reason why I have to do these podcasts on the day that I've watched them because poof, gone. I can't even tell you the movies that we've done at all.
This guy, Murray Calkin, he is the one that when they went in, because he was going to ask him how to get into the back door, he's one of those guys that was with that guy from 1941,
Yes.
whatever. Okay, great. So I actually like him as an actor. He's been in a lot of different things, and I every time he comes up on screen, I smile.
Oh, so, you can't help it.
Yeah, because he's going to be playing, you know what? I know I'm in this movie for 5 minutes, but it's going to be epic. Anyway.
Well, my big shout out in this movie is to the chick who does the countdown.
Oh, hell
Her
yes.
voice is so...
It was perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No.
So perfect. I mean, she sounded
10
like a machine.
10 seconds to impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's like, holy shit, man.
This is your only job. Her mouth. Every time she would speak, I was just locked.
Well, the camera's a foot away.
Yeah, we're talking the final scenes of the movie.
You can still see her eyes, her forehead, and hair and everything, but I was just watching like her teeth, her lips, her tongue, just watching as she's, pronouncing each and every word.
I feel like she stole the scene in that movie because she was so good at. I know it was just counting down.
Yeah,
but yeah, her voice was.
Even the throwaway roles. It's like, we need you to bring everything you got. It's like, yeah, but I'm just kind of like this extra or whatever. It's like, yeah, but I need you to do this. Oh, that assistant, by the way, she's dead. also the guy who plays John Wood, he's dead.
John Wood's dead?
John Wood's dead.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
There's like 3 dead people.
The assistant gal's dead too?
Yeah, she's dead.
How'd she die?
I think it was a car accident.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Sad. Thank you, Trav. Every single movie.
You do this every single movie.
Stop it.
Every single movie you do this.
She's dead.
Can you say this before I start talking trash about them?
Oh, shit.
But Michael Madsen's still alive, so that's
Which is weird.
The one that I'm like,
that is weird. I can't. How are we doing a podcast, Lisa? You don't know who Michael Madsen is?
I don't know.
And unfortunately, the only car I can really say is featured in this movie is a Grand Wagoneer, but it's still an awesome car.
Really, not even the Jeep
The
that
Jeep?
went through
The Jeep that flipped over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It hit the gate, but thankfully, they did it the way it should do. Physics are a bitch.
No,
hit the gate and the Jeep
There's a
goes
reason
into
for that,
the curb and everything.
there's a reason for that.
Yeah, go for it, Trav. What's the reason?
Because it's fucking real.
Because
They fucked it up.
They fucked it up. He was supposed to just keep on driving through, and it actually flipped. So
nice.
Yeah, there's a reason why it looks so real. It's because it was fucking real. All right. So I think unless there's any other characters you guys want to talk about here, I think we can move into the blow-by-blow of war games, which, I mean, I don't know if I really have anything. I mean, I've got a lot of bad things to say about it because we're going to have a fun time with this. But guys, this movie is a special place in my heart. We grew up with this. This is a good quality flick.
What was the name of the general guy? Sorry, I know we just got past the characters, but this has been bugging me. What's the name of the general guy? He was the head of the town in the show Northern Exposure years back.
Oh yeah, no, we're going to definitely talk about this goofball a lot. Barry Corbin.
That's Barry Corbin?
Barry Corbin. Okay. Barry Corbin. I saw a note on this guy. He ad-libbed most of his lines, which I completely believe because they're fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to kind of like savor, like a fine wine, each one of these lines because...
Now, see, the one line that you were talking about before irritates the shit out of you when somebody starts, doing their tech speak or whatever, and then you always have, some big gruff jackass comes speak English, please.
Oh, he was the epitome of speaking English.
But when he said it, it was probably the first time it was ever said.
You know what? I totally buy that. Mike, I totally buy that. All these little things that they're doing, like the whole back door and all that, I guarantee you this movie was like, well, it was in War Games, so we can say it too.
Why not?
Speak English. God damn it. Yeah. No, trust me. We're getting back to Barry because he's great. He's such a goofball, but he's great. 4-star general, my ass. Okay. So this movie opens up on the what I think is the tone of the movie, the whole turn your keys moment. If humans aren't capable of doing it, we get a computer to take on the moral weight of the responsibility of launching missiles. This is this movie's tone.
Before we get heavy and into the movie's tone and everything,
are you mocking me? I mean,
slightly.
Is there a reason for this?
Only slightly.
I mean, I can get personal with you. I mean, why are you doing this?
When Michael Madsen, Jerry and Steve, they're going into the silo, and then you've got the two dudes they're coming in to replace. They're coming out, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I already, so and so's upset because you're late again." The second guy that came out of the silo to talk shit, did you catch how he flung himself out of that doorway?
This was number one cheesy line delivered, and he was like,
and go! Okay, so he flings himself out, and blah!
Whatever he said, and I
his
can't
line.
remember, but it was like, whoa, that was delivered so cheesy. Bad. Oh, bad.
You know what that reminds me of? The scene at the shot in Star Wars: A New Hope, where it's kind of a goof, but you see the shadows of Mark Hamill and all those guys hiding behind the corner, and the shot's supposed to cut, and they're supposed to come running out like they've been running for miles, but they're just waiting there, waiting for action, right? And so they come out, and they must have been like just before they scream action, working themselves up, going. Okay, do we just leave this party? It cracks me up.
That was basically that scene. Dude flings himself through the door, and just so you know, I already wrote you up on the duty log or whatever the hell it was he said.
Because I've been acting this whole time. No, that's great.
It's like my one line.
It's like a high school stage play, where you got the kid hiding behind the curtain, and all of a sudden he just flings himself out and blah!
Now that opening scene really, gosh, I like, you know how you crave food? Well, this made me crave building a bunker. I
want a bunker.
I was picturing the house, and I'm like, I could put this here. We could dig down. I could be out in the yard and go on forever.
When they walked into that house, I thought
bunker.
that I was watching Spies Like Us.
Yeah. Yes, Spies Like Us. Did Spies Like Us come before this movie? Because that's a blatant ripoff either way.
I think this came before Spies Like Us.
Good. Because
Spies Like Us was supposed to be
it's supposed to be a spoof
campy.
anyway.
Yeah, Spies Like Us is 1985.
Good. No, that's great. That's perfect. And I love the movie, so it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so they go down into it Spies Like Us style, which is not Spies Like Us because this movie came out first, which is totally cool, and I love it.
And this movie took itself completely seriously.
Oh, yeah. So this is that scene where they, all of a sudden, the guys they're just bullshitting about their day, right? And so all of a sudden...
Shit gets real.
Shit gets really real.
Yeah.
The alarm's going off, phone calls are or not the phone, obviously, because none was working.
I hadn't seen this in a good number of years.
Yeah.
And I forgot certain scenes. And I was thinking, this was a part of the whole, test kind of thing, whatever. Turns out, yes, it was. I did kind of sort of remember it correctly. But it was part of the whole test thing, which is why, Dabney Coleman had the chance to say we just need to, I forget exactly how he put it, but it was basically just saying remove the human equation. It was because of that, but it was a test. But when I was watching, I was like, holy shit.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and you got these people that are like, I've got to get into machine mode. I've got to get into drone mode
and
because
Steve or Jerry, whoever
we're
Michael
gonna battle.
Madsen was
We're about
playing, pulls out his fucking pistol and he points it at the back of James' head.
And why? Because Homeboy's having second thoughts. He's like, I can't do this. I need some kind of human confirmation before I go, explode this missile on 20 million people. And he's right. That's a real fucking thing.
Before I kill 20 million people.
Yeah, I need to hear a human tell me to do this.
Yes, I want confirmation.
Yeah. So I think the detail was really good in the scene, but you know what's? It's funny growing up because hey, I'm 39. I grew up in the 80s, but I was pretty young when this movie came out, and I'm watching this movie. I didn't get this scene at all. I'm like, this scene is so fucking random. Let's get to Mathew Broderick. Let's get to the computer stuff,
But now I would recommend that if anybody watches this movie, at least watch it for this scene alone.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
This scene could be like a short.
Honestly, best scene in the entire movie, in my opinion.
You know what?
Best scene.
We're going to come back to that. All right, let's try to remember, at the end of this podcast, let's come back to that. Let's see if that's still the best scene in the movie. I mean, there's some funny scenes, there's some touching scenes, but this scene is probably the best scene in the movie. I agree with you. Yeah, totally. All right, so right after that, turn to Kieser, and we're holding up a pistol to him, which that doesn't really amount to much, does it? Because they come back later to clean out their desk, and the guy's still there. There's no way they allow him back in. You are negligent in your duties. Your ass is fired.
Yeah.
I mean, you're done.
He'd have to go. He'd have to do a psych eval.
Oh, totally.
To confirm that he is not.
If you're still in the military, you're pushing paper somewhere, but you're not doing that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. So we cut to NORAD, which all of a sudden we open up with a score that sounds like it's from Stripes.
Right?
Yeah.
This is total circus military music.
Yes.
Why are we listening to this?
It went from a gun being pointed at the back of someone's head to hey, I'm feeling kind of lively and happy now. Yeah.
I'm like, why? We still got the snare drums, which is great because that tells us it's a military movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's like this was really upbeat kind of clown. I was waiting for the carousel.
No Bill Murray coming through, Dan Aykroyd or Belushi.
It was Stripes. It was the score from Stripes.
So we grew up living, somewhat near Norad, and it's this big mystery mountain to us. And I always, my entire childhood, my entire life, I believed that this is what Norad looked like.
I totally believe this is what Norad. I'm like, oh yeah.
I still, to this day, when I picture Norad,
that's right.
I think of this movie.
Yeah.
And this is what Norad looks like.
We grew up
folks.
in Colorado Springs. Yeah, we grew up in Denver.
I know differently only because I was the milkman for the homes, literally right beneath the main entrance for Norad.
Yeah, so we grew up with this. So it's like, oh, this was kind of cool for us to see.
To see inside.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing inside. Apparently, I think we'd be gravely disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like bunker style.
In my head, it is.
Yeah. Okay. You know what, Lisa? What's the harm in like us going the rest of our
look
life?
like you're about ready to drive through a tunnel.
Yeah, but you don't really.
I don't know. I've never been past.
I've never been on the tour.
We know somebody who works there.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, so the plan for the Whopper is pitched on this next scene because this is right after the scene. You turn your key, sir, and then we got Mr. Corbin and starts doing the lines that he's famous for, which I wouldn't trust this pile of doodads to wipe my butt, etc., etc. I mean, this is when he starts all of his.
And
he's
goes
chewing
later,
and
I'd piss on a spark plug.
I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it doing it good. Damn it, man! You could just.
That was a great line.
I would hire him for a day for parties. Just say
random shit.
Just say random shit. Give me all the lines from War Games. So we've got Alan Blumenfield making his theatrical debut on this, and this is what the 80s period teachers. So right after the scene with Norad, where we cut to the classroom scene, where we got Mathew Broderick coming in and all this.
I've seen the teacher dude in so many things.
He's making his theatrical debut here.
Yeah?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, absolutely. So he's playing an asshole teacher in the 80s.
Yeah, this is another 80s movie where the teacher's an asshole and the kids are an asshole back to the teacher.
The kids are bigger assholes. Oh my God, that comment.
This is a classic line. Don't fuck it up.
Any comments on asexuality or whatever the hell it was he said?
He's like, why don't you tell me your thoughts on who thought of the idea of asexual reproduction? And he says, your wife? Which is funny as shit.
It's funny as shit.
It's funny. It's really funny.
I didn't laugh. Yes. Like, I was like, wow, you're a prick. That dude's wife could be like, dead.
But he's trying to... He's
laid
trying,
up somewhere.
No,
but he's trying to...
Dick.
It is the only comment, other than your mama, that would have fit that answer.
And Ali Sheedy can't keep it together in this whole fucking scene. It's hilarious. I paused the movie. She's staring off the set. Like
totally.
Because everybody's cracking up, and she can't keep it together.
The laughter that you hear after he says this, hun, on this, the crew on the set, the laughter that you hear in the scene is the crew cracking up.
Yeah, because apparently they didn't know they withheld the joke from him.
Oh no!
So they didn't know that was coming.
He did it so that he could be sent to the principal's office so that he could get the passcode.
I thought it was hilarious that the registrar's office had an electronic lock.
Oh, no shit.
Did you guys notice that? It's like,
yes.
Okay.
I giggled over that. I giggled over that.
I think the movie's getting a little bit too much into its all like locks and security and all this shit. It's like, there's no reason. If that station is manned at all times.
Screw that. It's a thigh-high freaking little door.
That's keeping the good people out,
right? Damn short.
As my buddy used to say, it's GIMP security. He keep his windows in his car rolled down, but the doors were always locked.
Hey, my door is always locked even with windows down when I get out of the car. You betcha.
No, the security system should be, hey, don't fucking go back there. Done. That's the security system.
You need an electronic buzzer to get you through that thigh-high door.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of funny. So why don't you have to? So why don't you have to make up the class in summer school? Why don't you come to my bedroom and I'll show you? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay.
okay. He didn't say come to my bedroom and I'll show
He
you.
did. He
did.
I thought he said come to my house.
No,
maybe
he
he
said
said
come to
come
my
to-
house,
He
but
said,
then
he
he's
said
like,
come to my
This is
house and then
creeper
took her
shit,
straight
right?
to
Yeah.
the bedroom.
He's like-
But Ali Sheedy, I don't know if she was playing or what, but she did Moron very, very well.
So basically-
and she said, okay.
So let's set up the scene. Let's set up the scene. Ali Sheedy's riding her scooter, as you do in 80s movies, and because you can't afford a car. I don't know. I saw a lot of scooters in the 80s. Anyway, she offers him a ride because she felt like he got in trouble because of her and all that. And she says, so I guess you'll be doing summer school? He says, no. They go up to the house, and this is where we see that he's a hacka dude.
He's, he had his dial-up modem, the one where he had to put the phone, the receiver onto the dial-up.
Kids, if
Thought it was
you're
fantastic.
if you're listening to this, kids, this is what you had to do to get on the internet back in the day. You had to get the special equipment that was a modem, and it's not the one that's already hooked into your computer, but a separate thing. You took your huge rotary phone handset off the cradle and stuck it on this thing, so it made this god awful noise, and which fax
It's like a
machines
ding
still
and donkey
do.
there. That
yeah,
was
they
great.
do.
Yeah, fax machines still do it. We still have
yes.
fax machines,
Yes.
which is
I worked
Absolutely
at a
nuts.
place a year ago and we faxed more than we emailed.
we
yeah.
still have fax machines, and we still use it.
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
so weird.
We use ours.
People are like, "What's your fax number?" I'm like, "What? We still do that? That's weird."
Yeah,
Well,
here's a little factoid that I think is just totally cool. It says that here. I don't even know what it's under, but the computer in David's room is actually an IMSA I-8080. The person who supplied the computer for the film tells how Mathew Broderick saved a shooting day by figuring out a programming sequence for the keyboard on his own after instructions were lost.
I was impressed by that.
I'm super impressed by
I'm
this.
like, what exactly
I
did he
did
do
not know
though?
that. Okay,
Yeah.
so Matthew Broderick, badass.
So,
Character,
before
not
I even,
so much.
Before I even read this, I was looking at him farting around with the computer going, yeah, he totally looks like he knows his way around a computer. And to learn this, that's fucking badass. Like
Yeah.
it just kind
That
of
is
He really got into his role. I mean, he studied the arcade game and all that.
For two freaking months, he played Galaga?
2 months. That seems like
Really?
a long time.
That's a bit
But he also had
excessive.
to learn his lines and
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
random
cool.
shit.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Like he had to go to school.
So I wonder if this movie was the beginning of that really, and I mean to this day, CSI, all of them do it. It's because we can't just show a fucking computer and showing a page coming up. What we have to do is make a sound effect to it. It's obnoxious. It's really obnoxious. Every single thing that's typed and every single thing that's scrolled, every single thing that comes up goes.
Yeah, I actually had a noise issue during the.
There's a lot of fucking noises, but they still do it to this day.
Yes.
You look at all Criminal Minds and
No,
CSI and all that.
it's not just that, dude. Now they throw in these ridiculous graphics.
These graphics are dumb. They are dumb. It's like, wow, there's a lot of
Okay.
memory on your computer going
What
to
was
just
it- what-
doing that.
What was the movie with Angelina Jolie?
Hackers.
Hackers?
Okay,
Yeah,
it was Hackers.
yeah.
Okay. That movie was nothing but ridiculous graphics.
Yes, that's
It's like,
that's
okay,
right.
I'm hacking the Gibson, and it was like these 3D images swirling around, and it was like, what?
This
There's
does
only
nothing
one-
for you.
No, there's only one thing that I love more than sports movies, which is wacky for me that I love sports movies. I love hacker movies. I fucking love them.
No, Sneakers, fantastic movie. Oh, I love it. But Sneakers does the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, shut up with that. Actually, you know what? As a joke, I downloaded a plugin to my computer that every single thing I did, or I touched a mouse, or I brought up a screen, or whatever, it made some kind of really obnoxious noise. And my coworkers were like, "That needs to stop, and that needs to stop now." It was just movie noises. It was funny.
But no, I thought it was totally believable, this scene. Where he's just like, making the noises, doing things.
Okay. In the movie's defense, the majority of the noises were the keyboard. Okay, the keyboard.
Yeah, but you remember those keyboards.
They were
Yeah.
loud.
They were
and
fucking
funky
loud.
as fuck.
No, they were great.
No, it was a nice walk down memory lane between
really
the printer
was.
paper and the green.
That's right. You
lettering
like
on
the track
computer.
paper, don't you?
Yeah.
The dot matrix setup.
Yeah, it
was awesome.
brought it all back to me. I mean, you remember as a kid when you and Dad did that run program where
Yeah,
all of a sudden
yeah.
built a stick figure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most amazing thing
that
ever.
Those
we had-
programs sucked because you would spend like a good day and a half, or in the very least, many hours of your life that you could never, ever get back.
But it drew a stick figure.
To make a ball bounce across the screen.
Oh, yeah,
Or to make these plus signs that were supposed to be snowflakes, just falling all throughout these real, like rainbow colored
Well, we didn't have Visual
snowflakes.
Basic or NetBeans or anything like that. I
No,
mean, you had to like write this
but
from
you
scratch.
had to code for hours.
But it's movies like this that made me, really appreciate this movie because I know how hard it was to write that program
Yes.
to make a stick figure happen. And this kid is like, "Brrr, I'm going to break into this and break into that. And I'm like,
A little side note
you're a
about
badass.
a little side note about the printer that we had growing up. Do you remember that printer? It was a monstrosity. It was this huge motherfucking printer, right? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we didn't have the cool dot matrix printer like our friend had. Richard. Yeah, Richard. I added it again.
The cool
but
dot matrix printer.
at the time, the dot matrix printer was fucking badass. It was quiet, all that shit. But this printer was like literally a typewriter that was hooked up to a parallel ribbon.
Yes.
I mean, this thing was like, it shook the whole house. All right, so this brings up to my next point here. So if you're going to get an F in a class and you're not too worried about getting a C, is it, or a D or something like that, so you don't have to take summer school. But if you change it to an A,
Yeah.
Someone's going to notice.
all of a sudden you have problems with inquiring minds regarding the administration, the educators of that school.
You're great as a person, but you suck as a student.
His approach
There's
was-
no way
See,
you
I thought
got
it was
this
fine
out.
until when he shows his parents the report card and his dad says, "This one I'll gladly sign," which means you have to return it to the school. You have to return it to the school.
Look, but here's the thing. If you change it to a C or even from an F to a D, because obviously you don't care because you're just trying to pass,
Yeah.
right? If you're getting an F in class, you obviously don't fucking care about school. Change it to a D so you don't have to take summer school. Why change
See
it to
most.
an A?
See it
A
most.
is nuts.
Yeah.
So A is going to raise some eyebrows.
Yes.
So I thought he had it right the first time. Change it to a C. It's fine. Even the teacher might be like, well, maybe he did. He's a fuck off, but I mean, maybe he turned.
Let's
I really
remember this
don't wanna
point
go
for
back
later
through
in
my
the
files.
movie when she asks him why the FBI is after him. Okay, because that was a big
God. Is it because of what we did?
Oh.
So at this point in the movie, we introduced these useless parents to the movie. Useless. So they could have come from any 80s movie, as far as I'm concerned. They have nothing to contribute and nothing, and whose sole purpose is just to provide gags. I mean, they're providing gags on this. So
I think it was
no
a-
wonder they got rid of them in the late 80s and 90s.
No, I think it was a subliminal promotion for Century 21 Realtors.
Well, there was definitely
Oh,
that promo spot.
there
They didn't
was
even
that,
they didn't
yes.
even say it, but the color of her jacket.
And
Was-
her Century 21 badge.
Oh,
The
I
actual
didn't even-
Century
I didn't
21
even
badge.
see it. I just
Yeah.
saw the
It was-
tan
it
jacket, and
was
I'm like,
stitched on.
she worked
That's
for Century
funny, Lisa.
21.
It was a stitched on badge, but it was kind of coming off.
Oh, I didn't even see the badge.
Is Century 21 in your head now, Lisa? Do
It
you just
is.
have the
I just
overwhelming
wanna-
feeling to buy
I want to buy a
wanna
house and
home
build a
now.
bunker.
I want to go buy a house right now. And you know what? The best person I can think of? You know what? Century
Century
21. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
Operator, do you have a number for Century 21?
While drinking your tab.
Yeah, we're giving a big plug on
While
this podcast,
drinking
too.
your tab.
Tab, yeah. Well, what else are you going to drink, huh?
That was another
Tab.
thing that I was like, yeah,
Tab.
soda.
Other people had tab. We didn't.
Well, I didn't call it soda then. I grew up. I called it pop.
Did we? I don't remember if we called it soda or pop.
Pop.
It was?
Yes,
Are you
because
sure?
I did not become sophisticated until my friend from Washington moved here, and they called it soda, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, soda pop? And
You
I'm
mean like baking soda?
I'm like, we just call it pop.
I know that's a regional thing. Yeah.
When I was a
that's
kid, it was just Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah.
But one of the gags from the parents did get a legitimate laugh out of me. Where he's like, the corn is raw. Can we just take pills?
Oh, that was funny
And
as
cook the
shit.
corn?
That was funny as shit.
But here we are establishing the parents and their character, and this is what we're establishing with the fucking corn?
Okay, no, that for me was a life-changing scene, okay?
What?
Honest to God.
Life-changing?
Life-changing.
Buckle up, folks. I can't
I
wait to hear
have,
this.
okay, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, that dude is seriously doing some damage with that butter on that slice of bread.
I thought the same thing. I'm like,
I was like,
that's a
oh
lot.
my God.
Dude, you can't live like it's free, you know?
So then he picks up the corn and he's rolling the corn through the bread. And I was sitting looking, and I think at that point Lisa looked over and saw the expression on my face because I was in awe.
And
This is a
turned
great
to him
idea.
And I said, you've never thought of this before? You've never done this before? And he's like, no! But yeah, greatest
I
idea
thought it was was fantastic. And he didn't give two shits about the bread because as soon as he was done buttering up the corn, he tossed the
So
bread.
that was my next question. I mean, what's the end game on this bread? He tossed it.
Okay, it's 1983. It costs a penny for that slice of bread.
Oh, that's right. I mean, because the money's never going to run out. Reagan's in office. It's all
It cost a
good.
penny for the slice of bread. Did you by chance catch how much it was for a carton of smokes at the 7-Eleven?
Speaking of Reagan.
$6.99 for a carton of smokes from the 7-Eleven.
Oh, no, I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But speaking of Reagan real quick, did you not catch this editorial on DEF CON changing to DEF CON 3? And the picture of Reagan is right next to it when it changes?
Yeah.
I was like, Reagan equals war. Boom, right there, right in the shot. I'm like, ah! It's like, this is a kid's movie, man.
If they had the animated, cheesy, tree-hugging movies back then, this would have been it.
Wait, you call this a kids movie?
It's PG.
Kind of. I mean, I was excited about it.
This
If I was
is PG?
excited about it, it was
It's totally
PG. Yeah.
PG, but they could not stop the goddammit and shit.
And the shits and goddammits
Yes.
and shit. But yeah, that definitely got me a legitimate laugh out of me with the corn. So I'm trying to look at this note and I have no idea what I'm saying here.
All right, so
Oh, operators! Oh my God, operators on phones. Lost art. And the sole
no
purpose
shit.
of operators are to provide information to stalkers and murderers. That's all they're
yeah.
meant to do. You're supposed to call them up and say, "I want the address of this girl that I'm stalking."
Yeah.
And then we
Okay,
give it to
sir.
you.
Here you
I
go.
called the operator all the time.
I called all the time to get that one girl's number, who we're not going to mention.
Right.
Right.
whoa,
Right.
stalker.
Yeah. I've grown up. It's okay.
I dialed 411 once.
No, it's not
Or what-
411.
no,
It was
zero.
You just dialed
I
zero.
corrected myself. It was 0.
Yeah, and you have this lady who sits there and job is just sit there answering questions about phone numbers and addresses. This is crazy.
I had to look up the number for I think it was either Sunset Skating Rink or a pizza joint that would deliver to us. It was something like that. But yeah, I had to call information for that. But no, I never.
Do you know what you could do? You could call the operator. And it's like, I need the number for Johnston, James Johnson. So there's 10 entries here. Can I have them all, please? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You're like, Jesus Christ. So she knows you're going to be calling every single one of them. To do what? To find out if they're on vacation or not? To steal from their house?
That's,
I mean,
it's no different than the fucking phone book. It's the lazy stalkers approach to finding out where
But
you
you only
live.
get the phone book for your one county. You don't get it for
for everybody.
everybody.
Yeah, this is for everybody.
True.
Yeah.
True
But they
dat.
could do all sorts of shit. They could place a collect call. They could help you out with that. I mean, operators were fantastic. I miss operators, actually.
Yeah. What did we
What
would
happens
love
if you
to-
dial 00 right now on your
If
phone?
you were an operator back in the day, what are you doing today?
Fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna try it out right now. I'm gonna hit 0 and see what happens. Right on my phone here. All right.
It's going to be like a secondary 911 kind of thing.
Let's
Press
put this.
call.
Yeah. So there is no 0. 0 is gone. 0 no longer
Does
exists.
411 still exist?
Oh, I
411
I
does.
think it does.
Yes,
yeah.
411 does.
Okay, so that answers that. Poor operators. We don't have them anymore.
You know, if that would have worked, there's one dusty operator working there going, "Oh my God, I've been sitting in this bunker forever, and you finally
years.
found me.
Sir, can I help you?
Can you actually help me? I can't get out."
All right.
I'm the last operator.
I think we have finally managed to make it, 15 minutes
that
into
would
the
be
movie?
A good movie.
What's that?
The
oh,
Last
yeah.
Operator.
The Last
Oh,
Operator.
Jesus.
This has Michael Bay written all over it. Motherfucker.
Come on, it was a good idea. You can't knock it down with Michael Bay.
So I never got this tactic growing up, but what Mathew Broderick is doing is trying to access the modem for Protovision. It's this company that makes games that he wants to play. So he doesn't want to wait for it to come out. He just wants to play before anybody else does.
Yes.
Because he's a dick. Okay?
Yes.
And that's what dicks do. He's a dick kid, and that's what they do. Okay? So,
If you knew how to see Star Wars before it came out, would you?
no, absolutely not.
Oh, because you like.
I'm fucking amped. I'm amped for this movie. I'm amped for it coming out. Oh, yeah. And you know what? This is actually a good little time capsule I want to do here. Because I'm so excited for this movie, and this is how I feel, and I have all the expectations in the world for it. So, I will listen to this podcast afterwards and see, if my excitement was warranted. I think it's going to be great.
It looks
Sorry,
fantastic.
that was a little sidebar.
Out here.
Yeah.
We're now like an hour and 10 into the podcast and 15 minutes into the movie.
So obviously we can't do this today, dialing partial numbers and all that. But I think the approach is clever, actually. So
The fact that he didn't use 555, 555.
Oh, no.
yeah, they used a bogus area code.
It was
Yes.
an area code that was reserved for the future. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a clever scheme because there's only going to be a handful of active modems to access, and the number is unlisted, so he has to just keep having the computer try them all until he hits a modem, and he's just going to check and see to make sure it's the right one.
You know, I
think it's
was
a clever
really
approach.
hoping they were going to come back to and use the one. I mean, yes, I guess it was kind of enough, that he did mention it. The computer did find one before he hit what he thought was the Protovision, which turned out to be Norad.
Which is hilarious.
He did. The computer did find one other modem, and he's like, "Oh, I'll have to write that one down and keep that
For later, yeah.
I thought it was for a
Yeah.
bank.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it was for a bank.
It was for a bank. Yeah. So is the whole Pan Am reservation thing that he's doing with Ali Sheedy and making their reservations to Paris? This is really just the equivalent of a website.
Yeah.
You're just going on and this is what
Yes.
we're watching, folks, on the big screen is watching somebody make a flight reservation.
Yes.
Imagine if you tried to put this in a scene now. It's like, click. Oh, look, United. What day do you want to fly? Why is this entertainment?
No, I like it when something that makes you question why it's being brought up is brought up later in the movie.
The Pan Am thing isn't a hack. Any travel agent could go and just go ahead and do this. That's not a hack. It's just pulling up a website.
Yeah, but there was no pulling up a website then. So he hacked in,
So it was
made
really
the
exciting to
reservation.
pull up this website and be like,
Yeah, because normally you'd have to call somebody and then they would do
Yes.
this. He was sitting there in his own
But they had
room
to have
doing
this scene because it did come back later. Oh, well, so that
Clearly
trip to
there's
Paris that
somebody
you
else
planned.
working with you and
all
you
right,
have to get away.
I'm going to stop this right now, okay? The last couple podcasts, you guys have said we have to have this scene so that we can do this. No. That's reverse engineering on script writing, and it's bullshit. You are, as a screenwriter, you're saying the character has to get to this in a logical way. You can't write the ending and say, well, let's just go ahead and manipulate the front end to get to the back end.
No, it wasn't so
No,
much that.
I've been
because-
wanting to say this because I've been editing these podcasts. I'm like, that's bullshit, and I think Lisa and Mike are on board with that.
Yeah,
No, I
You
don't.
have to make this stupid scene because it has to happen. Ah.
No, it wasn't a stupid scene because he was trying to impress her.
He was trying to impress
So
her.
it was
and
not all wackadoo, like,
No.
remember the number 42? And then that's all that's said, and then they bring it up later. That's the total backwards thinking
No,
that
it
you're
wasn't.
talking
It wasn't
about.
trying to, backwards or reverse engineer anything. He was trying to impress the girl, and it came back later in the movie to bite him in the ass because it was what helped to perpetuate him as a terrorist or whatever.
Mike, get your camera, okay? Follow me. Andrew and I are going to sit down. We're going to make a travel reservation on United.com
Sweet.
and then film it. Riveting. Hot.
Oh, totally.
Reservation making action.
Totally.
Okay, but what if?
No, I'm just okay. As far as the whole reverse engineering the script or whatever, I'm going to write the end of the movie in the beginning. No, that's not what I'm about at all. I'm just saying that it did come back later. It was thought out. It was planned when they were writing the script. Yes, we're going to put this in here because at the end of the movie, it's going to come in as key when we're trying to pin being
My
a terrorist
whole
on
point
dude.
was and at the time, operating a computer at all was probably a novelty, right?
Oh, it was a huge
It's
novelty.
just funny because nowadays you'd be just pulling up a website and making a reservation, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
You pull up a website, you just tell your phone or talk to your computer and say,
Right.
hey,
Siri,
pull this up.
Siri, don't actually do this. I'm not telling you to do this. My
Yeah.
phone's right here.
All right, yeah, so he impresses the girl, he books a flight to Paris.
So here's a big old question with me. So we're in Seattle and we're dialing numbers in Seattle. That is the region he's sticking to.
Yes.
Yes.
That's not in dispute.
No.
No.
How did he happen upon NORAD then?
They took him there.
Yeah.
I missed this part of the movie.
You told that's where they advertised the carton of cigarettes for $6.99.
Yeah, they picked him up from the 7-Eleven and
he was
took
walking
him
out. He was walking
there.
out with his
Back
big
up.
gulp, whatever.
Back up. The computer is scanning for numbers because he's looking for this game company that's located in Seattle.
Yes.
That's why he's doing the area codes he's doing.
Well, I don't know. I don't
How
know.
did he
that,
get to, how does the computer get, how does that area code range get to NORAD?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe that that it was established that the game company was.
Are you sure?
in
Because
Seattle.
he was doing. It was just restricted to Seattle-based area code.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure. That's why I made the note. I'm sitting there going, well, if that's the case, how did they stumble upon NORAD then?
It was
because NORAD made this big old fucking stink that we're going to keep this.
We're
going to keep all the control here.
What was it? Sunvale, Pebble. I don't know. I forget where the hell the name of the what the hell the name of the city was, but he didn't actually go through a Colorado phone number. It was some off-site place that he was able to get access to.
But if the generals already said we have to keep control here, and that they totally established that. The Whopper is in Colorado Springs.
But they also established that the phone company
right?
left some line open in whatever city.
No, so they did not establish that. That's just a side fact.
Yeah.
That's just
we didn't know that the mistake made was that the phone company redirected it to NORAD. I just thought it was a little bit of a plot hole. Not too bad. But just a little bit of. I was like, how did it get there?
They did point out that the phone company left a hole open or something.
Yes, they did establish that
in whatever town that just so happened to be the same place where the game company was located.
All right, so now we, of course, transition into our research montage. All right, so Mathew Broderick is trying to find what this password might be. That's where he runs into our colorful characters at the what company were they working for?
It didn't say. They never said.
Okay, what are they doing?
They never said.
And so Mike had to question me over and over again. Where are they?
I was I had to. Yes, I was nodding off at that point, but I had to.
But we did. He said this twice. He did wake up and rewind it and start again. So just so you know, you do have somebody who paid attention the second time around listening.
So that's where he starts his research montage. That the Whopper's computer password is a single login of Joshua. No password, no upper lowercase numbers and special characters requirement. Was that a thing in the 80s where you didn't really worry about it that much anymore? Right now I've got to put in a 10 digit upper lowercase with special requirements to make any fucking password nowadays.
And you've got to change it every 3 months.
Oh my god!
My password from back in 1990, whatever, it was so stupid simple. So simple. There was not the add a little bit more for security reasons. No, it was hella simple.
Yeah, so single logon.
Yeah.
To NORAD.
Yeah. I liked the scenes. I liked the montage building up to finding out the password because
that was clever. I thought it was clever.
It wasn't like he was
his research on microfiche. That was awesome.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing darts at it. Yeah, the microfiche.
It was microfiche and using the card catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
something that you had to know before you could get out of grade school back in the day.
That's right.
You had to be able to efficiently use a card
catalog.
Those
teachers marched your ass down to the library and said, "This is a card catalog, and this is how you do it."
This is the Dewey Decimal System. Learn it, love it. Boom.
So let's talk about what it is. All right, real quick. All right, so here's what you did. You wanted to find a book. You looked up in this card catalog, usually by author, alphabetical order by author.
I want to say by author.
Okay, so you look at it by author, and then it says it's in this numbering system. It gives you the row, the height, all of that stuff.
Yep.
Now that's where the book is.
Yeah.
You actually had to get off your dead ass and go find it for yourself.
It's the IP address of a device.
Not point and click.
Yeah.
Not point and click. You had to get off your dead ass and find this address.
Mike, don't get me wrong.
It was great.
I fucking love the internet. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't go back to. I have not been back to a library since I can remember.
The only reason I don't go back to the library is because I've got fees in every county.
You owe $7.25. Oh, you mean I can't check out a book?
No, we actually had one that was a couple $100.
Did you know that the library?
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, the library is actually the only debt collector system that does not come after you. I'm waiting for it. I'm so sorry. When I strike it rich, I will go back to
I think you're showing your cards on this one, Lisa.
I will go back and I will pay it. It wasn't my fault. It was my children's fault. They lost the damn book. But I return the books and I find them, so that's got to mean something.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So here's my question. So he finally gets into the whopper, right? And so Joshua's there. Joshua, we've established, is like, I don't know, he's like a weird computer incarnation of Falcon's kid, right?
Yeah.
That's basically, and it's a smart program, and it can learn, which is impossible technology at that time. It's impossible technology today. No computer systems learn today.
Thank God.
I'm going to go ahead and
scary.
make that statement.
It's scary.
Can I make that statement? No computer systems learn today.
Well,
I cannot
Speech
give
to
an educated
text
answer.
is probably the closest thing. It's
I
like,
cannot give
Yeah,
an
all that you
educated
can
answer
get
on
is
that.
you can get major attitude from your phone, but she can, my swipe will eventually learn me. Like I got a new phone and I'm swiping and it's eventually
That's
like it
the
understands
extent
me.
of it.
That's pretty much
but that's not Joshua figuring out complex problems.
right. And then you have like
So this is hardcore
you have the
sci-fi.
Xbox system where it learns how you move.
Oh, trust me, the 80s thought, in 2015, that we were going to be communing with robots. Oh, the 80s totally thought that.
Well-
No, trust me. 20 years from now, computers will be making decisions. No, they don't. They just straight up don't.
The Xbox recognizes you because it is basically taking a picture of you, and it's putting the two together.
Every time a kid walks in the room and says, "Hi,
So-and-so."
so-and-so," "Hi, so-and-so," and it recognizes them by just walking into the room. So that's
Basically, from user input, fingerprint, iris scans, all that. It's not
The body
learning
image.
you.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's taking a picture of you
Yeah.
and matching the two up.
That's
when you
not
walk-
learning.
when
But
you walk in
children
front of the
age,
camera.
and we've had this technology
That's
for...
not learning.
It's the closest that we have.
Learning would be changing your programming to accommodate the situation, and no software does that.
Yes, when my computer and TV start telling me, "Hey, you've been sleeping for a while. Let me find something entertaining for you to do."
That's a couple of lines of code. Trust me. That's not a thing. That's not even close.
All I get is congratulations on my phone. You got up and walked your happy ass today.
But I guess what I'm curious about is, so if Joshua is asking about the removal of the Falcon's user account, why does the login still work? Because that's the first thing Joshua says. I was wondering what happened to you since the removal of your account. He removed his account. Why does the login still work?
Because the account wasn't linked to the back door.
The back door. Oh, you know what? You can get out of that, Mike. The movie sure as hell get out of that. The back door. But I love how this
That's all I
movie
have.
kind of made fun of that. Those two guys were like, it's not a trick. It's not a back door. It's just a fucking thing. Don't worry about it. You know?
Right.
Don't talk about her back door like that.
So they basically start fucking around in the game, which is global thermal nuclear war, which is supposed to be a simulation program from the Whopper, the big huge computer that can think and run simulations.
You know what I was impressed with is how an F student knows how to spell. I thought that was pretty awesome. Did you think about that at all?
I don't know if I'm
Never
allowed
crossed
to comment on things like this, Lise.
Why? Because you
can
can't
have-
spell? I
you
mean,
can have-
Oh, I
Here's-
can't spell for shit. And you know what?
You can have straight F students that are super fucking intelligent.
Absolutely.
They just don't give a rat's
They don't give a fuck
ass
about
about
school.
a classroom.
That's right. My only problem with that is, are you learning anything? Or are you just not learning the things that you want to learn in school? The school curriculum says that these are the basics of things that you should learn to be a functioning adult. Yet these guys, coincidentally, are not functioning adults. They're fucking weird and they're awkward and they're social morons.
Yeah.
but how many
and-
times do you hear as adults go, "Hey, did I spell that right? Hey, is this spelled right?
Do you know
hey,
what?
how do you spell this?"
I'm one of those people who's like, spelling's irrelevant. Is that bad to say?
When you can't read your own notes, then yeah.
Some of the most intelligent people are horribly socially awkward.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
hella smart, but you were commenting.
We're talking
on
about the
them
1%,
being
man. I mean,
socially
we're talking
awkward,
about
whatever.
a very small percentage
I thought
of people who can actually function, make a good living, all that stuff, and be weird.
I thought they played up the computer programmer bit, quite decently as far as the social awkwardness. Yes, they're horribly smart, but they're dumb as shit when it comes to real life interactions.
So when they start fucking around with the game, they're like, "Oh yeah, bomb him! Oh yeah, do this." This is what starts starts Norad into a tizzy, and Barry Corbin starts him with the barking and barking orders and chewing and
Speak English.
Speak English, damn it! And every television actor in the '80s starts making a cameo at this point.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
holy shit! Look at that guy! Oh, I know that guy. And I got a big old belly chuckle with the computer tech running into the command center and Barry Corbin saying that he shouldn't be running because someone could get hurt. It's like, wow.
You just dropped from DEFCON 5 to DEFCON 3, and don't run in here. Someone might get hurt.
I read that Barry Corbin ad-libbed most of his lines. That got to be an ad-lib. And you know what? The crew probably cracked up on this one, too. He's like, Jesus Christ, someone could get hurt. So the workplace safety seminar that he took a week ago was not wasted on him. And that's why he's a 4-star general.
Yes. The only problem I had with the whole computer scene where he's going to play the game was that you had chess, checkers, poker, whatever, all on the same screen as thermonuclear war.
Do you know what? That was very, very calculated, and I think it was very intentional. We're teaching a kid how to play games, right? And it's in the same file.
As was the booking a flight to Paris. It was very intentional.
No, that's cool. But no, within the context of the story, not just so we have a destination to go to, within the context of the story, those programs are in there because this whole fucking thing originated out of his kid Joshua learning how to play games.
And what games did we play as a kid? What board games did we play as a kid?
Was it thermonuclear
Battleship
war?
and Risk. Like, this is not so wacky to have
Falcon's kid would play chess.
Yeah.
But would he play thermonuclear war?
You got to start the kid off somewhere. You got tic-tac-toe, you got chess, and then you have global thermonuclear war.
But as a kid, I went from playing with the Speak and Spell to playing Risk and losing horribly at Risk. But, I mean, it's not such a wacky thing to have on the screen with tic-tac-toe. Just saying.
Going back to that whole, Corbin saying, hey, don't run. That's dangerous. They got the tour director later in the movie that says he can't go into the computer rooms as the floors are being cleaned and he doesn't want anyone to fall and get hurt.
No, that was
they don't fuck around in Norad, do they?
No, that was just their way of detouring the tourists. That was it.
Oh, from staying away from the whole computer shit?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a funny line because they're like,
oh, it was funny as hell.
Safety first in this movie, man.
It was funny as hell. But yes, it was their ploy to get the tour groups out of NORAD.
Yeah. So this is the point of the movie where Ali Sheedy and Broderick find themselves on the news and they start crapping their pants. And he starts destroying all the info on his research. That's good, as you do.
He threw it into the big trash can in his room. That was it.
I mean, hackers know better than that. I mean, don't throw your shit in the trash. Everybody knows that.
Was there paper shredders then?
There had to have been.
I'm
you
sure
destroy
there was, but he didn't have one in his room.
I thought it was just you light a fire and you set it on
you light it on fire.
Yeah, in a metal trash can.
Which was how the FBI found all of the corroborating evidence in his room in the trash can.
So the whopper calls him back. And to resume the game, he hangs up and it calls him back and he disconnects the line. And then of course
the phone.
And then we see the countdown still going on the computer, which is of course bullshit because he disconnected the line. Yeah.
All I know is that them finding him by tracing the phone call and everything, that kind of put the fear of God in me growing up, where I did not want to mess with computers. Like when AOL came out and you racked up that $700 bill, whatever. You did. I did. Man, with the dial-up action.
Kids, here's a lesson to you. You do not hook up your internet service provider from a long-distance phone number.
Right.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Because every single time you log on your computer is dialing a long-distance number, which is fine nowadays.
Yeah,
free long distance.
We've got broadband and it's all good. But
it would be fine now. But that was so bad. But no,
$700, man.
I feared.
Of me just fucking around on web chats and things like that. Oh God, I mean, totally fucking around.
Stupid chat rooms. God.
Just chat room. That was it. Hi. What's your name?
Lisa thought LOL meant lots of love.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. And
she actually did this.
So they were having this deep conversation. I kept saying LOL, LOL, because I was trying to send out my heartfelt condolences to them for their death of whatever. And they're like, who the fuck are you? Get out of here. And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh my God, these people are real in the world.
They're real. And they're mean.
They're mean.
LOL means laughing out loud, not lots of love.
Yeah, and the whole SMH.
There's a million of those.
I thought it was so much hate.
Idea.
I still read it as so much hate. And I read what it actually is, but I was reading something today and I still read it as so much hate.
Do you know, laughing my ass off, that
LMAO?
whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was till about 4 years ago.
Oh my god!
Because Tammy would say that to me, and I'd be like, "What the fuck? Why? Are you, what is this? I don't even know what this. I see it all over the place. I don't know what it is." And then so I finally asked her. I'm like, "You know what? I'll just be that guy. I'm just kidding. What the fuck does that mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll laugh my ass off." I'm like, "You don't swear."
She didn't. She said LMAO.
And ROFL, yes.
Yeah.
Or LMFAO.
And I'm still not completely down with all of that.
I just go ha 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 ha. Yeah, and
LMFAO, laughing my fucking ass off.
yes.
Sweet. Don't give a shit.
It's like the group, LMFAO.
So, all right. So getting back to NORAD, we're gonna skip on back to NORAD over here. I'm not buying a tour group being okay after a nuclear holocaust scare.
I'm not okay with the tour group being okay when they're in DEF CON, anything other than 5. And
So yeah, exactly. They're in DEF CON 4 and a state of alert, and the president is like, "What the fuck?" And kids are being arrested. But damn it, we had a family fly in from Birmingham, Alabama, and with their cameras in a secure military facility, and we can't disappoint them.
Right.
Because we had this scheduled and shit.
Well, you can't cause chaos.
No.
Picking up a teenager from Seattle and driving him to the Springs, to Colorado Springs.
That's a long fucking ride.
That was okay. Oh,
Talk about an awkward ride.
We called your parents. They're
okay.
They're all right with the situation.
Yeah. No, they're cool.
Jeez.
They just kidnapped his ass from in front of a 7-Eleven.
All I can think is, I bet you the parents are questioning his report card now that they know he's capable of.
I think he's full of shit. Do you know what else is weird about the tour group? The aide implies the tour group is going to Disneyland tomorrow. So this tour group from Birmingham, Alabama, are these Americans?
It's
This
the
is how.
scenic route.
Is this like, hey, make sure you tour your own backyard? So we're going from Alabama to Colorado Springs, and then tomorrow we're going to go to
We're gonna
Disneyland.
go to Disneyland.
Well, hell yeah.
Talk about fucking spending time traveling instead of seeing the sights. My God.
You got they had Mount Rushmore in there, and then they had NORAD, and then Disneyland.
And we're going to go see the fucking dinosaurs from The Wizard, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, so holy shit, James Tolkien's in this movie. Slackers!
Oh, that's right. That's
Slackers!
right.
Son, your mouth is writing checks your body can't cash. Mm-hmm. Damn it, I love that guy.
I wonder if that. My dad used to always tell. No, this is back before then. My dad used to always tell us, "Don't ever let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash."
Ass can't cash.
And what was the other one? Don't ever let your mouth override your ass.
Jesus.
We did not get spoken to like this.
No, we didn't.
We just got the look, that death
did.
stare.
Didn't you ever like envy the kids that parents are talking to him like that? It's like, oh, he's so cool.
Yeah. I thought they were cool as shit because they cussed.
They cussed.
I was terrified.
No, ours just bit their cheeks and bit their tongues and looked at you
And
like,
said, gold! Darn it!
No, my dad made it very clear.
Hey, Mike, can you bear me?
I will whoop that ass.
well, we would have thought your parents were
Whooping
cool.
that ass. Whooping that ass. Yeah, so yeah, he's fucking in this movie. Which is
Who was he in the
amazing.
movie?
He was the FBI guy, the main guy to go arrest
Oh shit, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Oh god, all I see when I see him is just like it's just like, you're gonna be Top Gun? God help us.
All I ever think when I see that dude is racking the shotgun. Slackers!
Slackers! That's your
Chasing
problem.
him down the street.
That's your problem, McFly. You're a slacker. You remind me of your father when he came. He was a slacker too. I love it. I love that guy. I'm like, holy shit, and that represents what you're doing when you're watching every frame of this movie. You're like, oh my god, it's that guy. Oh my god, it's that guy. It's great. Yeah, it's fun just to watch the movie just for that. So Kittrick is getting his ass handed to him, and Corbin is seriously enjoying this. I love this because shit's going bad, and it's all Kittrick's fault, right? It's
Yes.
like him and his stupid computer. Yeah, it's all his fault. And Corbin's just like leaning back, just smiling. He's just like, man, this must suck to be you. All this you see around here, this is your fault. So Broderick is arrested. Okay, he's taken into NORAD, and he's taken up into the office while Kittrick's giving it. He's like, I'm going to befriend him. I'll get this information out. Don't you worry about it. But it's not working. And finally, Broderick lawyers up, And Kitchuk leaves him alone in that office with the computer terminal, right? And he just can't resist. He's just like, okay, let me go ahead and log in. I mean,
Joshua, are you still there?
Hello? So, because obviously he wants to see what's going on. But, yeah, all everyone sees is him fucking around on a computer terminal. They're like, Jesus Christ, you started all this shit, and you left him up there?
This happens so many times in movies and drives me insane, where the kid is like, no, I can solve your problem right now if you'll just listen to me. But nobody listens to them. I know that it makes her. I know it makes her very short.
I wouldn't listen to a kid. I wouldn't. I'd be like, I got life experience. You don't. And you know what? I would probably consult with the kid because they might have a fresh perspective or new perspective. But I'm certainly not.
But they're not utilizing this kid. The kid that was smart enough to break in to a Norad computer.
Lisa. That's a real good point.
And they're treating him like, oh, you're just a piece of shit.
Dude was smart enough to get into our government, systems, our government facilities.
And the only credit they can give him is he fits the profile. He's a screw up.
But they eventually get there at the end, which we're going to get there too. But I mean, they eventually get there with him. It's like, hey, why don't you just let him try? Because we're fucked if you don't. So this is the point where he gets taken to the infirmary again and is with an asshole for a guard.
Do you know that? I've had to get into the drawer underneath a drawer that's open, that's locked.
The only reason is this movie. That's the only reason why I know how to do that.
That's the only reason I know how to do it.
That's the only reason why I know how to do that.
Yeah. And it's so...
Take the top drawer off, man.
And there you go.
Yep.
That's your key to getting in. I loved it.
God damn it, man. Do you know what's funny? One of the little factoids on IMDb for this was that they went to a security senate thing or whatever, and they're like, I'm going to show you 4 minutes of this movie to identify why we have a security problem. And it was legit. They played it, and they're like,
really?
Yeah. And then they fixed the problem.
Really?
Right after that.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their
research on this movie, I think, was great.
Damn it, man. They did the homework on this shit. I really appreciate that.
The whole scene where Mathew Broderick is he's at the not just a payphone, mind you, but a rotary
payphone. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What he did trying to cause a spark into the
Does
headset.
that work?
At the time, yes, it worked.
You can still go up to a payphone. Payphones exist.
Where?
I was in a payphone in Canada.
We still have two. We still have two outside.
I didn't use it. I took a picture of it, but I didn't use it.
Don't they sell those two outside the King Supers? It used to be three until somebody drove their SUV into the front of the King Supers. It took out one of the payphones. So I think, unless I'm mistaken, the two still exist.
A payphone is one of those things that I would like to take our kids on a field trip to pick one up, to use one, to see what it was like. Like, it is such a...
Then you have to dial a number. Do you remember any numbers?
Oh, I remember numbers.
I know my own, but that's about it.
No, I know everybody's number.
Don't say numbers.
You gotta fill out forms.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So there's also a little goof that was in IMDb on this whole... The guard being an asshole to the woman working on the computer.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was really uncomfortable.
I think it was uncomfortable. I was just waiting for her to turn around and fucking knock his ass out.
Which she could have done. She was a second lieutenant and he's a sergeant. He's enlisted.
Yep.
And you cannot do that.
Nope.
Number one, you probably shouldn't do it anyway.
He was playing with the pin on her boob.
Oh, yeah. I'm like,
oh, my God.
You can't fraternize at all. You can't make comments like that. You can't socialize.
I don't care what year this is, dude. It's the military. You don't go up and start playing with a woman's nipple.
The military is the last bastion of, this feudal system of, no, you're in a different class than I am, and we can't even hang out. It's crazy. The military's nuts for that. And they still do it. Yeah. You can't date. You can't get married.
Nope.
None of that stuff. It's bananas, actually. So
I so badly want to sneak into the vent of someplace and see where it takes me.
You know what? I'm absolutely with you. I want to crawl through a duct.
Yeah.
And not fall through the ceiling, Breakfast Club style.
No. It's not just Breakfast Club style. There was actually a dude that did it here just a few days ago. He was trying to get to, it was in a grocery store kind of thing. He was trying to get to the office for the coffee shop / bakery kind of a deal. And he's crawling through the ductwork, whatever. And he's going through, and people are hearing noises, but they're still just going on about drinking their coffee, eating their pastries. And all of a sudden, shit starts falling from the ceiling. It's actually on all the security footage. Shit starts falling from the ceiling, and people are jumping up, and they're leaving their table and their coffees, and they're looking around like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, more shit starts to fall. And then, in the midst of all this shit that's falling, here comes the poor bastard who was trying to make his way to the office. Just dropped right through the ceiling.
Ductwork has much better integrity than those fucking ceiling tiles. You can't support your weight on those. Come on. Yeah, all those YouTube videos of those criminals falling through the ceiling. That's it. You think you can crawl on that shit? You can't. No.
In every single movie that
It's
pulls
styrofoam. My God.
falling through a ceiling, it cracks me every time.
Naked lady walks into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 2-foot salami on the other arm. All right, so
I had no clue what the fuck you were getting
everybody
at
else in
with
this
that.
podcast does.
Okay,
Don't worry about
cool
it.
enough.
So Broderick and Sheedy go to Oregon, and which is funny because he says Oregon.
He does say Oregon.
I thought that was a thing. Oregon people don't like that.
That's right up there
Okay,
with Italian.
I don't like living in Colorado when people say Colorado.
Do people say that? I've never
Colorado.
heard people say that.
Everybody who is not from Colorado says Colorado.
Colorado?
Yes,
Colorado.
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 Like rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, FYI to all you kids out there, it's Colorado.
But I can always tell when a news person is new to Colorado because they say Colorado. And if you listen to it, it drives you batty.
Well, thanks for putting that out there. So they go to Oregon and try to find Falcon, and he's crying out about how nobody believes him. And Sheedy says she believes him. That she does believe him. So they kiss.
Oh wait, no. The kiss.
This is a point where I think the director's like, guys, I'm embarrassed to say it because we're making such a good fucking movie right now, but this is the point in the movie where apparently the producers say you guys have to kiss.
Are they used to getting onto a ferry? They treat this so nonchalant, like oh, we're on a ferry now and we're going over here. It would be very strange for me to get on a ferry.
I understand because we're landlocked, Lisa.
Yeah.
Your GPS, however, did
Lisa,
tell you to get on.
Yeah,
the
it
ferry
sure
to get
did, and I
home.
tossed it to the back seat and called it done.
Lisa, when I go to the coast for anything, when I was in the UK working over there, people got on ferries all the time.
Okay, but your first time on one, how was it?
It's not a boat. I get seasick. Yeah,
oh, really?
I do. I get
It's a
seasick.
freaking boat.
Yeah, it was just, okay, we're on the water traveling somewhere. We're traveling 20 feet over there because we didn't want to swim. I mean, that was it, you know.
Lisa's GPS told her to drive to the end of the street.
And get on the ferry.
And get
Here
on
in
the ferry.
Colorado.
This ferry in the UK, it was attached to a chain. And the chain just, right over there.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all there was to it. And I think a lot of them are like that, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
My wife's sitting over there. She knows this stuff.
We got the
She-
head nod.
she concurs.
We got the head nod.
Berries.
So whenever we're not sure what to do in this movie, we cut back to the Whopper. We do a revolving shot around the Whopper.
It was at least a dozen times.
This is hilarious because this is what happens with computer movies. Here's the problem. Here's a glaring problem with computer movies. A computer itself is a pretty boring thing to look at, or at least they're showing a movie.
Unless you have flashing lights attached.
Sure, yeah, all the flashing lights you can handle. What computers do is interesting, but you can't really show that through action or inference. So I've been taken on many a tour. It's weird how many tours I've been taken on where the first thing they do is show you the server room, and you walk in and you're like, "Yep, bunch of computers."
That's
I mean, there's
server
nothing
room.
to see.
It's interesting to me how much it revolves around the Whopper when the Whopper is built of wood and metallic spray paint. If this is the major part of the budget, I'm assuming that we're supposed to be because you show it so many times. Build it out of fucking metal.
But you have to have the guy go in there, with his Apple IIe computer and give the readouts.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. The guy
Yes.
was inside the Whopper with an Apple IIe. I had an Apple IIe. God bless him.
Yep.
God bless. I mean, amazingly portable.
If you don't mind carrying around, 50 pounds.
Pocket jingle.
No, an Apple IIe computer. I mean, I had the little travel one. It had a little handle on it and everything, man.
It
You can take that anywhere.
weighed a ton.
You can put a handle on anything and take it anywhere.
I put a handle on Lisa, but yeah.
So
We're on the island.
we're on the island, and so this is where
The
Falcon.
pterodactyl flies in.
Buckle
Yep,
up, folks.
that's right.
This sucks.
This is a very weird Unit B type of shot, and it's just the acting sucks, the dialogue sucks.
It was an unnecessary.
You could have. I mean,
part of the movie.
this is a daring thing to say when we say this. You could have cut this whole sequence out of the movie and not missed a thing.
It still would have made sense.
But yet you're willing to defend his great acting skills.
Whose?
The
guy who plays Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's that. You know what?
Yeah?
I keep saying this. You bring the credibility to the movie. This is the guy that you do that with. You bring him in, you're like, look, this guy's in the movie. And you're like, oh, great.
Okay, so he exists in the world. That's great. But he did not need this whole scene about dinosaurs.
All right, so how do they get Falcon back to NORAD then?
Through guilt.
No.
They touched his
I know that's how they
heartstrings.
did it, but if you didn't have the scene, this whole sequence in the movie...
could've
He
been
didn't
a
have his
fucking
own
phone call.
helicopter. Right.
Yeah, he had his own helicopter.
Yeah.
That was good.
No, not just a helicopter. His military-style helicopter.
Okay, no, that was bullshit. You've got.
On how many different levels that was bullshit?
Hang on. No. Just this one scene on the island. He's fucking chasing them around for like 5+ minutes in the helicopter. And then at the end, when they finally decide, okay, we can't run anymore, they finally cower down. Finally, he gets on the megaphone and says, no, it's safe.
It's safe. It's me.
It's okay. It's me. Whatever the hell it was he said.
Yeah.
Get in.
Because you grew a liking
okay.
to me through this whole experience.
What
that
kind
we
of
had.
asshole sits there and just terrorizes the children
around
for like a long time?
5 minutes plus, chase them around, and then finally at the end,
He couldn't have just been
by
like-
the way, hey guys, it's just me.
Stop running. It's Falcon. You're okay.
It was a horrible scene.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
It was so
okay,
bad.
Because I have the same, safety sentimentality that the rest of people in NORAD do. So quit running. You'll fall.
I would have been happier if he dropped down a net over them and picked them up, Scooby-Doo style.
We need a chase scene in a computer movie.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Yes.
Okay, so they're hauling ass. They're getting in this Jeep. This Jeep totally fucking flips and shit like that, which apparently was an accident in the movie, which they kept.
How did they convince the enlisted guy? I'm assuming he was an MP. I didn't catch, any rank on.
I'm
his
Falcon.
uniform.
Get me in the NORAD. This guy's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
No, you know what? A phone call, fine. All right, great. So he's doing this thing, and so they start running. They tear into NORAD. They barely make the door.
It
and
had
all
to have
this
been a
shit.
phone call because the chick, the Norad chick, was
Yeah,
expecting
she was
them.
expecting them. Right,
Yeah.
right. So while they're
I
doing,
feel sorry for all those people who didn't make it through the door. As soon as they got through the door, she's like, we're good,
We're
lock
good.
down.
No.
Okay, hang on. Throughout the movie,
I don't know you. Get
Throughout
the fuck out of here.
Did you guys notice how slowly and casually everybody was walking through this, 10-ton door as it was closing?
Dude, what's the consequence
They're
for failure?
Just casual as shit.
What if you trip?
Could you imagine if all of a sudden your shoe came untied
Yeah.
and you stepped on your lace
Yeah.
or some shit and you ate it hard? You just got cut in half by a 10-ton door.
That's
Yeah.
Terminator shit right there.
Yeah, it's
I mean, that's
hamburger
like
grinder action. It's-
that thing's not stopping. That
And
doesn't.
everybody's just, oh, okay, oh, look, it's blah time, and, they're carrying their briefcases, and they're just slowly, casually
This poor little
walking
E2
through.
just got cut in half again.
All I could think was, how many people got cut in half, trying to go through the door. Imagine the memo that would go out the next day.
It's like, okay, it happened again. We have this big semicircular line for a reason, okay? So this whole running, chasing, all this shit, trying to get into NORAD, it keeps cutting back to Barry, and this guy, this colonel sitting next to him, right? And I couldn't help but thinking, this colonel looks so disinterested and so bored. He's 20 years Barry's senior, right? And he's a colonel, and Barry's a 4-star general. And he's just sitting there, sitting next to Corbin, looking like he just spends most of his days thinking, I can't believe I have to answer to this clown.
Yeah.
Is this the same guy that Barry earlier in the movie? Wait, where did he go?
No, I
Where are you?
was really looking for
Is that the same guy?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, different guy. Sorry.
No, I was really looking for the whole Captain Picard. He takes the stance.
Make
He
it
is
so.
in charge of his ship. I was looking for that command, but all of the generals and everything were a bunch of buffoons standing around.
Buffoons.
Yeah, there was nobody in charge. I mean, the most commanding voice in here was the countdown chick.
All the extras in this movie were they appeared to have more legitimacy and more authority than anybody else. The aides,
Yep.
just all the enlisted people, all that shit. if you're a second lieutenant or higher, you're a fucking idiot.
This whole final scene to me is shit. It's
You
just
think it's shit?
Okay, hang on.
Oh,
hang
no,
on.
no.
Oh,
yes,
stop.
yes, yes.
Two
Absolutely
seconds.
not.
I've got to backtrack just a bit briefly. The scene where Barry is looking for whatever the hell the rank the dude was to get in contact with so-and-so, where he pokes his head up. I thought this was hysterical.
Okay.
Wait, where did you go? Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
What
And
was
he's,
this?
he's just looking
Why
around all
was
over the
that,
place.
Why did that exist?
What scene was this?
Oh, it's where one guy is standing. He's right there. You can see him, and he's like, "Where'd so-and-so go? Where'd so-and-so?" Oh, he's like, "I'm right
He
here,
goes,
sir."
I'm right here, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like total direction. Like
I
it's
thought
funny.
that was hysterical.
It's hilarious.
I thought it was hysterical. Where did you go? Where are you?
Where is such and
Where
such?
are you?
Right here, right
here,
in front
sir.
of you. That's like the same thing I do with Andrea. I'm just like, honey! She's standing like 2 feet away, you know.
Yes!
It's funny, you know.
You never scream until they're like right next to you. It's oh shit! Sorry.
I do love this scene with Falcon and Corbin, and I think this is where the movie's like the message of this movie is summing up nuclear war motivations, inevitable outcomes, and the fact that Corbin starts acting like a freaking general now. This is when he starts acting like a general. All right. Damn, I just wish Ed Harris was playing the role.
It wouldn't have been as
damn
funny.
it.
It would not have been funny.
No,
if Ed
it
Harris
wouldn't
was
have, but
playing
I would have fucking believed it. Do you know what? Ed Harris could have delivered every single line exactly the same lines that Barry Corbin was delivering.
Ed Harris
but he would have done
is
in
fucking
such a
phenomenal.
God
Ed
damn it,
Harris
he's
is
good.
fucking phenomenal.
Just think Apollo 13 in this movie.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Even Truman Show.
That's why.
Truman Show.
That's why this whole final scene is it's just not believable at all.
I just really wish Ed Harris was playing the role instead of him. And he's the same age.
Okay, but when you start wishing that somebody else played the role, that means there's a problem.
No, this guy.
So true.
This guy
So
is a
true.
clown, and he plays a clown in every single movie. He's just like, dong, 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 dong.
All this said to me it was the typical 80s movie where the adults are buffoons and the kids
Yes.
know better. Plain and simple.
Kids know better.
Yeah.
Kids are taking over the world, but this script does it a lot better. than most of
Reagan,
them.
Reagan,
listen to us.
Nice.
So, well remembered. So Falcon convinces Corbin to ride out the attack, and nothing happens. That's good. So this is why this movie is awesome, actually. Stupid movies would have ended the film right there, but it doesn't. It's a bluff by Joshua, and it sets up one of the best scenes in the movie.
You think?
Yeah, the whole make Joshua learn that this global thermonuclear war scenario is pointless. There's no winners. It sets up that. Everyone's like patting themselves on the back. Oh yeah, nothing happened. But then Joshua takes over. It's like stupid movies would have ended it there. But this movie doesn't.
That's got to be like if you can do a D grade movie. I mean, I understand A and B films.
This is a well-crafted movie. This is. I want to make sure that because you guys look dubious, but it is a well-crafted movie.
No, I think that, if
The
you were
final
reading
moments
me
of
the
the movie I thought were
script
crap.
right now, if you were reading the script to me, I'd be like, oh my God, that's genius. But
You think it's execution?
the delivery of it was
Really?
Yes.
really poor.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I was watching when I watched the movie. I was looking at the script and I'm like, this is a well done story.
The final scenes of the movie I thought were absolute garbage.
Which is why the actual writing of it was up for an
Yeah,
Oscar.
exactly. No
Not
No
the movie
actors.
itself. Not acting and not the movie itself, but the writing.
Can you really name movies that are up for Oscars that do not have somebody who's acting in it up for an Oscar?
That is a weird scenario, isn't it? It's like everything about this movie was fantastic and Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
But not the actors.
Not the actors.
The actors were like, whatever, So growing up, I never really understood why they couldn't unplug the Whopper. I'm like, just fucking unplug it. They even say in the movie, can't you just
unplug it?
They just
They glossed over it.
no, they glossed over it really fucking fast. But I think
Yeah.
that's actually good filmmaking sometimes.
I
Okay.
didn't appreciate the glossing over the why can't you just
I
unplug
actually
it?
can appreciate that because I feel like that's got a more natural tone than sitting there, stopping the movie, turning to the camera and say, well, Johnny, midichlorians are microscopic organisms that live in our bodies. You know, it's like, it's like, all right, wow, you just got out the easel for this one.
You're saying that the Force was with Whopper?
The Force was definitely with Whopper. The Force was this movie, actually. So I never said the acting in the prequels was good. I said I like the fucking prequels, okay? But it turns out they can't unplug it because the system would interpret this as a hostile act and then lock everybody out of the missile silos.
Yeah, because it would be like Norad was blown
and then
up
they'd
and destroyed.
launch anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's linked to other computers.
I just now, on this viewing, understood why. Just now. Just now. The millions of times growing up with this, I was like, why can't they just unplug it? Jesus Christ. Barry says, why can't you just unplug the goddamn thing? But yeah, that's why. And I just now got that. And it is rushed over big time. They're not trying to throw it in my face. It's like, look, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, well, that's your problem. We're moving on.
I do appreciate movies more so that don't have to point everything out, like your usual.
If you're not smart enough to watch it, don't watch it.
Then don't watch it.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're just not cool enough.
It has nothing to do with whether or not you're smart enough to be watching it. It makes for one of those movies that you end up watching or find yourself watching over and over again,
and getting
gain
new
a better understanding.
Stuff.
Yeah,
great movies.
Usual Suspects.
That's what happens with great movies. With mediocre or just whatever movies, that never happens. They're just explaining everything on the first go-around. You catch subtext, you catch clues, you catch little things in great movies.
But this movie, it was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie.
Probably not a great movie. No, I could
This
agree.
movie had to explain the dumbest shit time and time again.
They have to explain the technical aspect of it, and that's something you can't
this
avoid.
was so advanced.
So after it's been made evident to Corbin that this is after they just had their first celebration scene, blah blah blah. And everyone's So Joshua's still going.
Yeah.
And so Corbin's like, well, just unplug the damn thing, and they're like, this won't work, and he explains why it won't work. Then he throws his head down, being like, I can't believe I got out of bed for this shit. And he's like, after careful consideration, I have determined that your defense system sucks. I love that movie.
That was
I
great.
love that line. God damn it, I love that line. It's like, that's the most quoted line of war games in our office.
Your defense system sucks.
I mean, after when everything's going wrong with the server, it's like, after careful consideration, I've determined your server sucks. So Kittrick tells him that he's a pig-eyed sack of shit, and I love Corbin.
I was so hoping for
I love Corbin's response, as if he's never been called that before. I expected a better response than that. A man of his education. Not that I mind that exchange, but now is not the time. Okay,
exactly.
Look, Kittrick is trying to sit there what's going on, and they're going to sit there, stop the movie, and sit there and just exchange insults with each other.
So now we're into where he's trying to come up with a game that's not on the list. Well, I mean, that's what's eventually determined is it's got to be the one that's not on the list, so that it can come up with, they're kind of trying to jar it, to confuse it, to
everything up.
Here's the scene that leads up to that, okay? They're staring at it, and they're noticing that Joshua is starting to get the launch codes, right?
Yeah.
And they're staring at the screen. And so all of a sudden, Ali Sheedy's want to talk about throwaway lines, obvious lines. I told you to stop playing that game. So his light bulb goes off. It's like, hey, game? Well, if he wants to play the game, let's play it. And I do like the tic-tac-toe angle, though.
I do like it.
I thought it was great. I thought it was really clever.
I thought the tic-tac-toe angle was great. It was the scene that shortly followed the tic-tac-toe bit.
But the movie assumes that since the global thermonuclear war game is just that, it's a game, it wants the computer to play a game faster to learn that there's no winner. I think that's clever. I really do.
I think this is a great after-school special.
What?
Yeah.
I think
This
it's
movie's
Fern Gully. I think it's Fern Gully with missiles.
Oh my God, Fern Gully!
It's Fern Gully with missiles.
I know where you're going with Fern Gully, but I don't see that. Look.
No, there was a moral. It was the
There's
moral
a definite
of
moral. Yeah, no, it's
Yes.
another hey, look, if we and Sneakers was the same way.
Yeah.
I'd love to do Sneakers though.
We can do that.
Yeah. But Sneakers is the same way. It's like, look, we need to be careful about passwords. All the shit that they said in that Senate hearing, in real life.
Yes.
It's like, look, shit's vulnerable, and if we can write this as a movie and have it be real, then you may want to take precautions.
But if your computers blow up, And there's no smoke in the final scene.
Tic-tac-toe
Come on.
made the computers blow up.
So the moral of the movie is to give up. Guys, this is mature writing, okay?
Yes, it was.
It is.
It was, if we bring out the nukes, we all die. That's what it's really saying.
It's Fern Gully with missiles.
In the middle of the movie, Ali Sheedy's giving him shit and thinking he's questioning his moral character because he just wants to give up and die. And then the movie's telling you, look, there's no winner. Walk away.
Give up.
Walk away.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, he's fine.
So this second celebration scene,
Okay,
we almost got away with it. We almost got away with it. Where are you going with this, Mike?
Well, I was going to go to the scene where Dabney Coleman reaches over and shakes hands with Falcon, and then he looks over to Matthew Broderick, and he gives him the attaboy, hair rustle
rub,
bit
and
when
then
he
he gives him
everyone's
his hair
real
rub.
pals now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then
bullshit.
and how does Matthew Broderick follow up his head rub? He reaches up, because Dabney Coleman's a little bit taller than Matthew Broderick. He reaches up and he rustles up Dabney
I don't
Coleman's
think
head.
that's
And it was like,
scripted.
oh my god.
I think that's Matthew Broderick being like, I'm the star of this fucking movie, bitch. That's what I think that is.
Dabney Coleman, I think, should have said bitch and punched him.
Totally. Yep.
Punched him.
It's like, oh, really? Wait for this asshole to say cut? I'm gonna knee in the nard.
I could be your
The Norad. We are going back to 1980, aren't we?
So
I did not like that scene at all.
We almost get away with it because we've seen this scene a million times. The whole control center scene, disasters averted, everyone claps, cheers, and throws paper.
Right.
This is the first movie to do that.
Someday in my life, I'm going to throw up the paper in
Yep.
celebration. I'm going to do
And
it.
everyone's
going
going to stop and be like, why the fuck?
Epic.
It's going to be epic. And everyone's going to stop and say, do you know how long that's going to take to put back in order? Do you know what that was? Does that mean anything to you, you asshole?
No, this whole...
So they almost got away with it. The crane shot goes back, all gets ready to fade, and then some asshole
paper.
right below frame throws the paper up. I was like, shit, you started that whole thing. So this extra was like, no, don't worry about it. This is going to be a big hit.
Oh, no.
Everybody's going to do this now. Don't worry about
And
it.
they did.
And they totally did. Do you know what movie didn't? Apollo 13. There's no paper throwing in Apollo 13. There's cheering, there's handshakes, there's all that shit that you
And
might
tears.
do. And tears. There's lots of tears in Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is, he's a sentimental
badass.
guy. Yeah. All right, guys. So, would you recommend this movie? Let's start with you, Lisa.
Yes. Hell yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
It holds up?
This, I never realized how much it defined my childhood.
As far as
That's
breaking
funny.
into file cabinets,
No,
Yeah, totally.
ways that we, the referencing of this and of that, and this,
All the things that we say,
all the things that we
a
say.
lot of the things we say come from this movie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm
this
determined
was-
that your defense system sucks.
My view on Colorado, my view on NORAD, my view on everything was false, apparently.
Totally bullshit.
for once in quite a few movies, I do not have a nostalgic standpoint on a movie or view of a movie. I give it a good solid recommend.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is most definitely a must-see movie.
Like I said earlier, usually movies that have some kind of piece of technology or something that dates the movie is kind of a distraction or turnoff for me. But on this one, surprisingly, it wasn't. It's really just a time capsule.
It is a time capsule.
And it
That is a
doesn't-
good point.
In fact, it sucks me in so much. I forgot for a second that the laptop that I'm watching this movie on is amazing piece of technology and
Almost
stuff that they
definitely.
could only cream themselves over in that time, But
I view all movies that throw out, dated material, like, your mobile phones from Lethal
You like that
Weapon.
stuff?
I absolutely love
that's
it.
cool. That's cool. I
Good
definitely
solid recommend for this movie.
good. No, that's great. I definitely this is a solid recommend all around the horn here.
This is a movie
because
that I'd like to see be recreated
you want to see a reboot
on
of
today's
War Games.
on today's
You know
budget.
what? They're rebooting every other freaking movie. They're redoing Oceans.
They're redoing Pete's Dragon.
Sometimes
Yes, they're redoing Peach Dragon.
really.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know that I want to see
taking
that.
off of work to watch that.
I don't know that I want to see that. But Real quick.
Are they going to have all the songs?
I don't know. I hope so.
It's Disney.
That movie is just the songs, okay? I don't give a fuck about Boy and His Dragon. I just want to see the songs.
Before we forget, we discussed early on.
Yes, thank you.
The best scene in the movie. I still hold fast to the opening, one of the opening scenes, holding the gun to the dude's to the back of the dude's head. I still think that was the best scene in the movie.
Man,
I'm gonna agree.
I gotta say, I really liked the whole aspect of making Joshua play tic-tac-toe to realize that there's no winner. I thought that was a good. We're looking at it in retrospect because we've seen so many of the scenes that are the same type, but that's a good, well-constructed scene. I definitely recommend this movie for a lot of reasons, and the script is really good. The movie is well constructed. There's a lot of resources put in this movie.
Oh, totally.
And it's got good production value, and it's a great entertainment in that respect. I think Corbin could have been replaced by 10 actors I could think of off the top of my head. But
I actually really liked him in this movie.
He's a clown.
His jackass buffoonery, I really liked him in the movie.
Yeah. With that, if you want to get a hold of us, direct any and all correspondence to flicksanddicks@gmail.com. And yes, it's spelled exactly how it sounds. Like our page on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and we will occasionally have content on there as well. This episode was brought to you by our most proud and prominent sponsor from our good friends at recyclebikeparts.com. recycle-bikeparts.com. And you need a replacement crankset, or perhaps you've just worn out your rear derailleur. Wreck your ride or need a barely used flat bar for that epic ride on the trail? Drop them a line. Check out their eBay store that is linked directly to their website. Send a message and tell them you're a dick and receive 10% off. And of course, and as always, all parts include free shipping. That's just our advice from a couple of dicks. Check out our podcasts that are posted each and every week, and be sure to stay tuned and alert to our mailbag episode, which we read comments, tweets, and some of the nasty shit that all of you may have sent us. Until then, this is Travis.
I'm Mike.
I'm Lisa.
Take it easy.